Hey, tonight is one of those nights, Ben Romack Organic. Actually, this round ice, and I got some new Scotch glasses, but this round ice, I was at a friend's house, and he was taking out the ice cubes, and it actually, sometimes I like drinking neat, sometimes a little bit of water, sometimes ice. I'm finding these round ice cubes pretty endearing. It actually adds a little something to the Scotch. A little something to look at in the glass. This is a Ben Romack from Speyside Organic. It's actually really good. Highly recommend it. So to get into today's topic tonight, I made a video a number of months ago talking about SWIFT versus RippleNet. It was couple months ago, might have been like 6 months ago, kind of early on in my YouTube career, so to speak. Now, I truly believe that this topic keeps regurgitating. I think there's a lot to talk about. I haven't gone in depth into really doing a comparison again, SWIFT versus RippleNet. But right now, I think it's very relevant to really talk about some of the things that SWIFT is saying regarding this space, and has to do with the RippleNet solution. And really, SWIFT is making waves recently by stating that they have the only correct solution and that they know that because blockchain isn't the right solution. Hey, this is Jeff with the HODL Report. Join me on today's video as we discuss SWIFT. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, please remember to give a thumbs up, leave some comments below, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you've been reading the news lately, this is a couple days ago, there was actually an article about a guy, an interview with a guy who claims that he lost over $400,000 life savings in the Quadringa CX exchange fiasco. We had a video about that not too long ago. Lessons to be learned. So remember, keep your digital assets safe and always, if you can, move them onto a Nano S, Nano X. Make sure you're taking personal responsibility for maintaining the security and safety of your digital asset investments. Obviously, you can keep some out on the exchanges. Don't keep the bulk out on the exchange. Now back to SWIFT. Now they've really based their anti-blockchain opinion on their quote-unquote research using distributed ledger technology. They've stated that it didn't really work for them. They've stated that banks don't want it. They've stated that banks don't want blockchain technology. It doesn't value to add to the global cross-border payment space. And really the latest from their CEO as he states that SWIFT GPI is the solution. And again, because blockchain simply isn't. And this, again, is going back to their previous research. And really, at the end of the day, it's only because he says it is, you know, what it is. And that doesn't make any sense. This is really so like developing it as some twisted soap opera or twisted melodramatic comedy of some sort, you know, as you hear these statements coming from SWIFT. And this is soon after the announcement. This goes back to the beginning of January. They announced a trial with R3. And then towards the end of January, there was a press release stating that SWIFT was actually going to incorporate R3 and really launching a proof of concept. If you go February 3rd, there was an article on Cointelegraph. SWIFT announces POC gateway with R3, but remains overall hesitant about blockchain. So there's just a lot of inconsistencies with what they're doing, with what they've stated. A quick quote from their article, the Cointelegraph article. On January 30th, major global banking payments network SWIFT announced its plans to launch a proof of concept of a gateway titled GPI Link that will allow blockchain software firm R3 to connect to SWIFT's global payments innovation GPI from its platform. Now, as this drama unfolds, if you really dig back and you remember the R3 press release from December, in which R3 launches Universal Settler application to facilitate global payments on Corda, and then XRP being the first of the settlement of the digital assets for settlement within the mechanism. So this article was titled R3 launches Universal Corda Settler application. So we really know that R3 is offering XRP through Corda. Now that SWIFT is incorporating R3, we're nearing the possibility of SWIFT using blockchain, yet we hear skepticism from SWIFT, and not only using blockchain, but actually using XRP. So regardless of their skepticism, it's amazing that SWIFT is really just a few keystrokes away from the utility of XRP through R3, the R3 Corda payments settlement solution. But at the end of the day, that means that SWIFT could potentially not just be using blockchain, but use XRP. I mean, the whole thing, like I said, it's like a soap opera. So the CEO of SWIFT, what is his name? Gottfried Lebrant. He really reminds me of another big CEO in the banking industry, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan. He's so outspoken, and Jamie Dimon publicly bashing Bitcoin, all while JP Morgan is quietly expanding their reach into, you guessed it, blockchain technology and digital assets. Now, we know this because this has been going on for a while, and for the longest period of time, he couldn't really keep his mouth shut when it came to bashing Bitcoin, and he kept getting a backlash over it. But now, really, that we've cleared up this little tidbit on how close SWIFT is actually to using XRP for settlement, what I really want to do is take a look now at the SWIFT GPI Global Payments Innovation, their solution, and see how it stacks up against the full RippleNet solution, because there's a lot of talk from them on how great SWIFT GPI really is. But as you begin to peel back the onion, the layers of the onion, we can really identify the fact that GPI is really only a more techie version of the original SWIFT solution, but still falls way short of being an actual solution for two things: liquidity and payment settlement. Now, if we take a look, I pulled up a graphic from SWIFT, and in the graphic, it breaks down the benefit of SWIFT GPI. And essentially, what do they offer? Fast payments. They're offering end-to-end tracking. They're offering fee and FX transparency. They're offering unaltered remittance information, reduced costs, optimized liquidity. And when they talk about optimized liquidity, this isn't we're providing a mechanism for liquidity. This is you can make the most of your liquidity through greater payment visibility, still utilizing your Nostro and Vostro accounts that are out there. So now ease of implementation, really, and then confirmed credit. So receive a credit confirmation message when your beneficiary has been paid. So really, it's a plus version of SWIFT. So again, there's two primary things that stand out, but all of it really sounds impressive, right? You just look on its face. If there was nothing else to compare it to, you would say, wow, SWIFT really did make a big move forward with GPI. They've changed some things, and it looks like it's an amazing solution. And you might even say, well, if GPI is such a great solution and blockchain isn't the solution, and this is where we get back into the soap opera, then why is SWIFT launching a proof of concept gateway with R3 to interface GPI through blockchain tech? And this, you can keep going through this questioning, this line of questioning, and it's going to become very cyclical and just very repetitive overall, because it doesn't make sense, right? Now, there's two important things that stand out that they don't offer. They don't offer a liquidity solution, as I had mentioned, and they don't offer a settlement solution. it doesn't exist. Now, through GPI, as I had mentioned, you're still going to have to use Nostro and Vostro accounts. And if you want to get a good example of what Nostro and Vostro accounts are, a good definition, you can go and check out Rob Cash. He just made a video about it today. You can go check out Oz Crypto. He talked about it. All goes back to an article that was recently published in Forbes. I'm going to get into it on the live stream on Saturday. We're going to tear that up a little bit. But at the end of the day, again, two major missing elements are not offered with the GPI, and really you could determine that that these are two of the more important banking issues when it comes to global cross-border payments that have been missing all this time. Now, GPI still sounds a little bit more like X-Current, and it's still not even living up to the full X-Current name. And so again, really, if we tear up GPI, it's really just a SWIFT plus. It's not really a true change in the way that banks are going to transact with each other. It's not a true change in the way payments are going to be settled globally. And so RippleNet still has a huge leg up from what GPI is offering, because with the RippleNet solution, we have X-Current, right? We have XRapid, which is offering the liquidity, and eventually we're seeing a full rollout of XVIA, which offers payment settlement. So I might be missing something, you know, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just not understanding the full extent of what GPI is offering, or SWIFT is offering through their GPI solution. But then again, if SWIFT GPI, if their GPI solution was so great without utilizing blockchain technology, then why did they sign on with R3 to use the very technology that they keep dismissing within, that is basically RippleNet? So to SWIFT, yes, RippleNet is a much better solution than the GPI solution that SWIFT has recently launched. And really, at the end of the day, it is SWIFT that has, and it's really SWIFT's game to lose to RippleNet. So this is, and really, if you go back and you take a look at the interview that you saw the CEO from Ripple and the CEO of SWIFT on the stage with one another, and the SWIFT CEO seemed extremely uncomfortable with being on the stage, and you saw it in his body language, you saw it in his tone, you saw it in his eye contact, and in even the way he was trying to answer the questions. He just was kind of stumbling over himself a little bit. Just an overall lack of confidence in what he was saying. And this has to go back to this premise again, that SWIFT has identified the inefficiency of their full solution, and they've identified the efficiency of blockchain technology, and therefore for them to reach out to R3, which inevitably they'll end up using at some point. They'll use Corda, and using Corda, there's a high probability chance then they'll be using XRP, and this all if they don't end up first somehow working directly with RippleNet. So SWIFT, by the way, welcome to the 21st century. Although you won't admit it, you will be working with XRP soon enough. Again, this is Jeff with the HODL Report. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, remember to leave a thumbs up. Leave some comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and just a quick note before we sign off, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not giving any financial advice. All the opinions expressed on this video are strictly my own opinions. And if you go check out the Ben Romack, check out these ice cubes too. You can get the ice cube molds on Amazon. They have squares and they have circles. I'm not really promoting anything like that, but go check it out. It's really cool. Anyhow, I'll see you on the next video. Oh, remember also to tune in Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for morning crypto with the HODL Report. We'll see you then if I don't have another video before. And until that time, keep on hodling your crypto.